This is the Dental Works Restorative Compressor. Start off by set this up by unclamping all four of the clasps inside the cover. You're going to find all of the hoses, the power cord, and everything that you're going to need to run this unit. This unit has got two pumps in it. There's a large pump that sits right here that's going to run your suction. There's a smaller pump that sits right here that's going to run the pressure for our air-water syringe. Off to this side, to the right if you're standing in the back, to the left if you're standing in the front, is a cooling fan, which must be running at all times. So start off by taking your power cord, plug your power cord into the side of the unit, and this should be plugged directly into a wall if and when you can do that directly rather than a power cord. But this unit and any of our compressor type units need a full 110 volts to run. So if we start compromising it by running it through extension cords and power strips and things like that, it may not be getting enough power, and then that causes issues along the way. So plug it directly into the wall. When we can, take out your hoses. Inside will be your water bottle and a container for your evac solution. At that point, close up your case. You can plug it all in, and when you turn it on initially on this one, you're going to hear that little air pump kick in. It's going to sound like that, and it'll shut off pretty quickly on this particular unit. After that happens, you should feel and hear the cooling fan running. This needs to be running continuously through the operation of this unit. Extend the handle if it hasn't already been extended. Inside a large cooler will be the restorative black box, as we call it. This black box is going to run your air-water syringe. It's going to run your high and low speed. You're going to run your handpiece and your suction. That just lays right there on top of the handle, and you can have a lot of different hoses and handles that are going to come along with it. The big thick hose is going to be your high-speed motor. You can lay that there. The next thinner hose is going to be your air-water syringe. That'll go there. Your third and fourth hose will be your high-speed and your low-speed suction. Plug both of those in, high speed into the larger of the two holes. That can be hung up. And then your low speed right next to it. And again, that can be hung up just like that. Okay, that's ready to go so far. Your black box has got an electrical connection. On the left side of your unit is a black cap. Unscrew the black cap. Take the electrical connection and adjust it so that it snaps in a little bit, and then spin this so that it pulls the plug right down and locks it into place. This is your air-water syringe. This is your line for your air. We're going to hook that up as soon as we put in the water bottle. Almost all of the black boxes have got a quick connect on the water bottle, so you slide it through the hose, and then it goes up and it clips in. The water bottle itself functions as both an air chamber and a water chamber. So at the beginning of the day, we're going to fill it halfway with water. So we've got our water, and the upper part lasts as our air. Take one of our little blue tabs. It's a line conditioner, and we're going to put the line conditioner into the bottle either before or after we fill it up, but definitely before we put it onto the unit. Once the tab's in, take your water bottle, slide it up onto under the black box, line up the little pegs, push up, twist, it's locked into place. At that point, you can now take your air connection, slide it in, and your air pump kicks back on again. It is now in the process of filling up your air-water bottle combination. While that's happening, you're going to need a foot pedal to run your high-speed motor. Your foot pedal will either have a gray or a black cord. Once you get it untangled, you're going to take your foot pedal and connect it right underneath the black box over here on the left side. Normally, the little screw that is on the connector will face you. It'll either face you or face back, but most of them face you as you put it in. Once it slides up, take your ring, give it about half turn. That'll lock your foot pedal into place. At this point, your black box and compressor for restorative is set and ready to go. On the black box, on the left side, there's a toggle switch. The toggle switch is going to adjust the direction of the motor, either forward or reverse. There's a little round knob. That's going to control the amount of water that's going to come out of the handpiece. It's either going to be shut down where you're not getting any water, or you can adjust it to any type of spray that you want as you go along. You will then take a handpiece like this, and that's going to snap onto the motor, ready to go. There's a button on the back. Push the button in tight, take the burr, slide the burr into the little hole, and push tight, let go. Your handpiece is now ready for work. The foot pedal acts as kind of an accelerator where it starts your motor off slowly, and as you push down, it will slowly pick up speed. And these run at about 200,000 RPMs. And then you can slow it down and adjust the speed as you're working. And stop, and there you go. Air water syringe. Again, everybody knows air, water. You don't have any water in the unit, but that's your air water syringe. The pump that's running now, again, is your air pump, because we ran the motor and sucked some air out of the bottle, had to replenish the supply. Both your high volume and low volume suction hoses. They've got on-off switch. Most of the units have got on-off switches on the top of your hanger. If you click the one switch, it's going to turn on the suction pump to run your volume. It'll turn on both, or you can shut it off. This one will do the same thing. Suction coming from low, it's coming from high. The pump's pretty good. It's pretty strong, but you lose a little bit of integrity. You lose a little bit of suction if you're running both at the same time. It's best if you use your low volume, keep your high volume off, or you use your high volume, keep your low volume off. You're going to get a much better suction through the hoses. When these hoses are on the cradle and not being used, that suction pump should be off. If I kick it on, it will shut off in this particular case because both the handpieces are in the cradle. And there's a little switch that will shut it on and off as you lift each of the handpieces. But as much as possible, if these things are in use, there should always be airflow through either the low volume hose or the high volume hose, which will keep that suction pump from overheating. Hang them both up, they'll shut off. They should shut off. Or hit your switches. That one just needs an adjustment. This is the full setup. This is ready to go for your first patient. The water bottle, as you are utilizing your high-speed handpieces and the air water syringe, you're going to use water at a fairly good clip. Keep an eye on the water bottle so that you've got plenty of water in there for each patient so that you don't run out in midstream. If you need to empty get the water bottle off of here to refill it, first we've got to release the pressure, disconnect your air hose, push down on the little plunger, release the pressure, and then you're safe now to take the water bottle, twist it, pull it off, fill it back up again about halfway, come on back in, put it on, and reconnect it. Every single time you refill the water bottle, however, you should put in another blue tab to keep the water clear. It keeps the biofilm from building up in our air water syringe lines as well as our high-speed handpiece lines. Inside the unit, at least once a day, depending upon how much water you're using, the waste tank will start to fill up. So you do need to keep an eye on the internal waste tank. Normally by the time it gets about 2/3, it's going to start to shut itself off. So kind of watch the flow of the liquid filling up. Normally about half is a good time to empty it out. Slide the tank off the ledge a little bit, kind of keep making sure that that lid is tight, and pull off each of your hoses. Again, there's a little gray lip there, kind of hold that down. You can twist a little bit, pull your hoses off, take this down the hall or to the nearest bathroom, pour it into the toilet, bring it back empty, reconnect it. Again, normally at lunchtime, that's a good time to do it so that you know you'll be in pretty good shape for the rest of the day. Reconnect, red to red, that's your suction port. And then the other large high volume hose will go back into there. Red will snap into red. The little smaller hose only goes in one place. That goes into the smaller hole. Slide your tank back. You can close the cover. And you are ready for your next patient. Snap the cover so it doesn't come loose on you. You can bring your hoses back around and you're all set, ready to go. Okay, we're going to shut down now. At the end of the day, you finish with your last patient. How do we shut down the unit to make sure that it is ready for transportation? As soon as this water bottle fills up, we'll go back through that whole process again. At the end of the day, we need to make sure that all of our lines are clear, all of our suction lines are clear, and our water lines are clear through the entire unit before we pack it up. After this water, at this stage of the game, we still have some water in here, and we've got air in here. The unit's shut off. We just finished with our last patient. He left the room, or she left the room. We slid the chair out of the way. We're ready to close down our unit. In order to do that, what we're going to do, again, slide your hoses out of the way. The first thing we want to do is open up our front cover. It allows us to see how much room we have in the waste tank. We have our evac solution, and this solution is something that we should be drawing through each of these hoses, the high volume and the low volume hose, between each and every patient. But at the end of the day, we're going to take our high volume, run it through here. It's going to start sucking real fast. It'll clear out this hose, kind of hold it up to make sure that all the liquid comes out of the hose, goes into the waste tank. This allows you to kind of watch the waste tank too so that we don't overfill it at the end of the day. Don't want to make a mess then. Take your low volume suction, turn it on. Again, draw the evac solution through the hose. Give the hose an opportunity to clear up, hold it up. Again, clear out all of the water and the liquid that's in that particular hose. You can hang them back up and you're all set as far as your waste tank is concerned. At this point, again, we're going to slide the tank off to the edge of the ledge, hold down the green lever, pull off each hose individually, and this is ready to go down to the bathroom to empty it out. Never take the tank and walk down the hallway with an open container. Make sure that you have the cover on the container at all times. Once you've got this all taken care of, what I normally will do, or pulled out, I will then eliminate the air pressure on my water bottle. Once I've done that, I'll take the water bottle off. If there's any water in here, which a lot of times there is, I'll empty it into the evac solution tank, or I'll just pop this off, empty it into here, and put the water bottle back on totally empty. Connect the water bottle, and because it's empty, it's going to take a little bit longer to fill that up with air than it does when it's half filled with water. So at that point, I will just connect my air line, let that start to run. That gives me time to take the waste tank, go down to the bathroom, empty it out. Once I get to the bathroom, after it's emptied out, I'm going to put some water in here with my gloved hand to kind of swish it in here, kind of get some of the slime off the sides of the tank, empty it into the toilet again, then take a paper towel, dry the tank, and put it back together. By that time, you've come back down to the room, take your waste tank, reconnect it, so that's ready to go for the next day. Red to red. The larger hose to the larger port, the small one to the last port, slide it back into place. At this point, the unit's shut off. This is filled with air. We now have got to run our air water syringe, push the water button. Whatever water is in this hose is going to blow out until it blows to a dry mist. That'll kick back on, let it charge back up quickly, and then do the same thing again. Normally what I'll do a second time around is I'll push both buttons, the air and the water, and let that blow dry until I don't have a mist on here anymore and dry up this line. Now keep in mind that our high-speed handpiece also has a water line going to it. So at the end of the day, what we're going to want to do is, after we've dried out your air water syringe, take your water control knob on the left side and open it up all the way open, all the way full. You can either do this with the handpiece on it or without. There's a couple of little holes in the side here. Hold that holes over a basket or anywhere you can get rid of the water. Hit the foot pedal. You're going to feel air. You can feel you actually see the water blowing out of the side of the motor until it starts to blow dry. Once that blows dry to your finger, that's nice and dry, and it's good to go to be packed up at the end of the day. The reason for doing both of those, whether you're in a cold climate or warm climate, is to protect each of the lines from building up with biofilm and bacteria. But as important as that is, it's to keep our button, our water button, and our air button from freezing and popping out. If water stays in here and we're in a cold climate and it freezes at night, that button will blow, and you may not notice it right away. You charge this up with water, and you end up with a sprinkler as this thing just starts to blow water all over the place. And that's going to kind of ruin the first part of your day, especially if we don't have anything to repair it with right off the bat. Same thing with the motor. The motor, again, we want to make sure is dry. You could damage the internal parts of the motor if it does freeze. In the warmer climates, we're obviously not too concerned about freezing, but it's the heat that would create the biofilm in each of those lines that we want to make sure that we don't have happen. And if we do leave that in there, especially over weekend, you don't want to be the first child in the chair getting all that water pumped into your mouth. So please make sure that those stay dry. It'll cause the motor to last longer. Your air water syringe, you shouldn't have any issues or problems with it as you go through your days and weeks. Taking it apart at this point is just as easy. You just disconnect everything. Foot pedal, slight little twist of the that little ring. This will wiggle right out. Never force any connections. If it doesn't feel like it's going in right, turn it and see if it goes in easier the other way. Disconnect your air container. Release your pressure. Got about 70 pounds of pressure in that bottle. You do not want to try to take that off without releasing the pressure. Twist your bottle, pull it off, and it's ready to go. Disconnect your power line for your black box by twisting the black ring. It'll start to cause this to your whole plug to move up a little bit. Pop it off, you're all set. The other end is disconnecting our air water or our high volume, low volume suction. Again, there's a little ring. Pull the twist and pull. Do the same thing with the low volume. Put your thumb on that ring, twist a little bit, pull, and you are all set. You can take these off of the black box, roll them in a nice large loop. You can lay them back into your cover. Your water bottle can go into your evac solution tank. That'll slide back there. This is now all disconnected. It'll come off of the hanger, and we're going to put that back nice and neat into our cooler. And lastly, turn off the power. Recap the top electrical connection. Those pins are fairly fragile. We want to make sure they stay protected. If we lose a pin or it breaks, your unit will not work. Disconnect your power cord. Again, nice big loops. Lay those into the door panel. Close the cover and secure the unit with all 4 clasps. Your black box unit, take that back into your cooler. Normally I put it down this way, upside down, so that sits down in the bottom. Individually, I will very carefully take each of the hoses. And again, you do not want to pinch any of these hoses if you can, because there's water lines and electrical lines in here. Nice sized loops, and you can lay it just inside the box. This is nice and easy to put in. These are short, they just slide in. Then again with your air water syringe, same type of thing. Very carefully twist twist it, make decent sized loops, and slide it into your cooler. The foot pedal, do not take any wire, especially this, and wrap it like this. Do not do that. We're going to keep bending this. We're going to short that out. Just loop it so there's no pressure on either end of the plug. Put it together like this, and it'll slide right inside your cooler. You close your cooler, and you're good to go.